Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to our channel once again. In this episode, I'm gonna do one more video, but this video is not gonna be a review. So if you're looking for one, you can skip it. There's no fragrance review on this one. Just gonna do sort of like a morning episode. It's 2 a.m. I used to do a lot of these videos before, but I somehow got caught up in so much work and reviewing itself that I do not do so many of these videos. But I believe there are some people who actually like these episodes, so I'm just going to be sharing some things like from my journey, and take a break once in a while. I have written down the notes. I want to talk about them. So basically it's a thank you video for everything that I got from you people and in my journey, as well as few other things to share, why people do reviews and what's the role, how it changes lives. Okay, so first of all, this is an episode that I did not plan on doing for a long time, but sometimes once in a while it's good to do these talks. I believe you can share a lot with with others, so they get to know you a little bit better who are new, or they watch you for a long time. So I hope you are doing well, and thanks for watching and clicking the video. I sometimes think as a viewer how it is going to be when you are in the other part of the world, other side of the camera, and people are watching you, how they're like feeling, or how they are perceiving what you are trying to portray, or trying to send a message of something like that. Okay, so when I watch videos, I have sometimes seen a lot of criticisms, in like, oh, this could be better, that could be better, or oh, I don't like this. Then I realize when I'm doing videos that definitely people gonna be liking and disliking at the same time, but it's all good, because in life you cannot have 100% love by from everybody. There's going to be always lovers, there's going to be haters, some jealous people, some spams, but you have to be strong and continue doing your work. So last few days I'm not really well. I have that neck problem. It's getting a little bit better. The pain is gone almost, and it's there, but it's getting better with rest and stuff. But apart from that, I'm not really the best frame of my mind. Negativity all around. So sometimes you go through these phases, it gets extremely depressing. So I would like to start with a positive note. That is, thanks to all of you. Thanks to you who's watching. Thanks to every single person who have watched. I have got 8 million views by grace of God Almighty, and I have 30,000 plus subscriber base with just by doing fragrance reviews every day. That is incredible for me. Like, I'll tell you why. Because I do not have the best setup. I do not have anything fancy. I just use this phone for the last 3 years or 4 years or so. I just started doing videos, like, even though I'm not the reviewer, I'm mostly a consumer. I'm giving you my experience with my fragrances, what they gave me. I have a small page of decanting, but I do not do business with perfume, so I'm not really in contract with anybody. So I do not push fragrances which I do not believe in. My first priority is always honesty. Like, I started doing this because I fell in love with this line of work. So first of all, thanks to Fragcomm, all of you who watch my videos, comment. I know that I do not respond to many videos, comments and stuff. There is a reason for it. Just I had fair share of like bad negative phase, and it really messed me up in the head. It's not like I'm ignoring the comments. I know you guys write, but once in a while you see something negative. I cannot deal with negativity so well. I'm not very good at negativity management. So what I do is I try, like, sometimes I try not to see what hateful comments and stuff people post. So I just, like, ignore. But thanks to people who are sharing my videos, mentioning me when I'm down. People make video about me, all the reviewers. Thank you so much, because you guys watch me and then mention. It feels really good. This is really like a dream, like, ongoing dream. It's not like a dream came true. It's still going on. So I would like to say, like, after saying thanks to all of you who supported me also in my decant page in Bangladesh as well, brothers who gave me perfumes, to review. Sometimes I cannot buy perfumes because I'm broke, because business is not so good. But then my reviewing do not stop. So that respect that people give me, like, brother, here are my bottles, would you like to review them? That really creates the content, and I can still carry on. That is a big thanks to all these awesome people. All right, and then first thing I'm gonna say is, okay, what is the purpose of reviewing? This episode may run a little bit long because I'm going to be speaking what I'm thinking for the last few hours. What's the purpose of reviewing? I think for me, reviewing is something that I'm doing for the world. Okay, I'm sharing my knowledge sometimes my collection, sometimes my experiences, with fragrances for 2, 3, 4 years or 2 months, what they gave me, because people talk about compliment factors, what's worth, what's not worth, because fragrances are not cheap. So when you watch reviews, there are a lot of mixed reviews, like on YouTube, and it can get you confused. And the worst part is you cannot actually smell the perfume when you're watching a review. The technology is not still available that I can send you through a sachet or something. Like, here is a sample, you smell it and tell me what you think. Someday it will be available, trust me, human beings are intelligent. But till then, we have to, like, when I watch as a viewer, like let's say I watch Mark, who's the guru of the fragrance community. He started this thing and he's a wonderful human being. I had a dream that I would just somehow he would know me, and I'm like, guess what? He knows me, and he called me once. Unbelievable. So yeah, try not to get distracted. But what I'm trying to say is, when you're doing reviews, fragrance reviews, I feel these are the some things that I'm doing because I'm not making money from YouTube. I should have monetized it like when I was in Malaysia, but I couldn't do it. It was too late. When by the time I moved in here, the options were gone. I can still do it, but this is not my source of making income or something. I have very limited income from the page where I run Goodfellas Fragrance Bangladesh, the Deccan page in Bangladesh, and from there I finance my bottles. I save up and buy bottles, and that's how I collected so many fragrances as well, and reviewed. That was my main goal: review, give you about knowledge about a fragrance. Perhaps there's no review on it, right? So these are some things I think of. Okay, and I believe, like me, there are a lot of people, reviewers out there, do the same line of work because it's purely out of passion or love. If you do not have these two, you won't carry on for very long. If you're here to show off just to make money and try to get a cheap way out, and it's just, I'll tell you one thing I do not like. I do not like people who try to get shortcut to success, because there is no such thing. You can try and waste your time, but it will just be a waste of time, right? And I actually do respect reviewers who actually have love, passion, and they're honest. They are not fake. They are not just salesmen or push sellers for companies because they have huge audience, or they have what do you call they are sponsored. Nothing not wrong with being sponsored. They're reviewers like Steven. He would get a fragrance, he will tell you like, I got it for free, or it was sent to me for reviewing. Great reviewers do that, but they always keep their honest opinion, and they do not try to say like, this is best, everything is best, is the best ever, best clone ever, best everything. If you do that, any reviewer does that, and if you get a bottle for free and you just sell your soul, it's not the right thing in my opinion, but I could be wrong. Opinion is just an opinion. But I do respect reviewers who keep their honest work. I do not really watch reviewers who are doing the other things, like it's like a gimmicky, like showing, I don't know, cleavage and stuff, just to get views, bikinis and stuff. I do not watch that, but that's just me. Some guys like that. Okay, so that's the first thing I would say, why people do reviews. Okay, this is why I feel some people do it. Then some people, they want to share their stories, like I was telling you, and their journey with a fragrance, particular fragrance. Let's say I know a lot of my friends I met through Fragcomm. They tell me like, bro, have you tried this fragrance? I had it in my high school and it got me so many compliments, and it's just like $5. And I was like, so interesting. I am so interested in those fragrances because something special to one person, and he'll be like, bro, could you do a review on that? Perhaps that would be nice. And I do that. I go out there in the mall when I'm bored, and then I just go out there, try to find, oh, that one, okay. He said this cheapy is good. Like, for example, David Beckham. I do not have to buy David Beckham fragrance at this point, but I'm not prejudiced. I like anything that smells good, and mostly when fragrance surprises me. For a small price, they smell really nice. That really surprises me. So I do reviews on any kind of perfumes: designer, niche, body spray, cheap, clone, whatever. People, I think, have some information regarding like that fragrance. Okay, so that's what is the goal for me. Then the next one is, some people, it's like their earning source. I was telling you, like fragrances, when people do reviews, they have channel, they have to constantly produce content to make earning through YouTube. Okay, some people have that, and there's like it's going on for a long time, and it's pretty normal. A lot of big YouTubers, fragrance is very small industry now, but like let's say car reviews, music, like merchandise, and if you are doing vaping and like a lot of products, beauty products, women are doing fabulous work. So those vloggers or YouTube content creators, entertainment creators, music creators, they're making money like based on their view. So some people are doing it for the money, there's nothing wrong with it, but as long as they're giving quality content, people would actually watch and give a thumbs up, okay, and they'll share. So that actually works pretty okay, right? So next one is business premise. Some people doing review, some reviewers, um, like to get attention from companies or websites, they'll like contact them and say, hey, you are doing reviews and you have this subscriber base, would you like to try some of our perfumes? I have been contacted several times, not by big companies, but a lot of my like brothers in overseas, they told me like, I have a website, would you like to try some of our perfumes or like clones? I said definitely, it would be an honor, it would be like lovely. So as long as I feel the product is good, I'll review them, okay? If they smell good, even if they don't smell good, I'll review it and I'll say it's not really worth the money. If you have trust in me and if you have bought fragrances based on my recommendation, you must have seen like what I'm trying to do the review. I do not try to like how to say, inspire you to go buy blind buy something. I always say try it first. This is my information, this is just one view, and I am not actually working for any company, so there's no point for me to push a fragrance. But perhaps some of the fragrances, they work like Dior Sauvage, Invictus. These fragrances are kind of like generic designer mainstream fragrances, but I happen to like them and I say it. People will be like, what, you like Invictus? Yeah, Invictus is a fragrance. This fragrance got me a lot of compliments. I get positive attention. It smells darn good in air. So no matter how much people trash it, I still love that perfume. So it doesn't have to be the artistic most fragrances. It can be a compliment garner, right? So it's another thing that if you really believe in what you're doing and you really study a lot, you smell fragrances a lot, try it on your skin, spend significant amount of time, you can actually make it a career. If you really are in the right country, you'll really shine. Okay. Next is this is I think this is very important point why a lot of people are into fragrance game groups, why they are so involved. First thing, they wake up and then see what's new in the page or what's new in the website so they can go and try or buy. I think this fragrance game provides like meaning to life. It gives you something meaningful. Okay. uh, Especially if you are, let's say, not to judge anybody, like let's say you're lonely, or you do not have so many friends, perhaps you have retired, or you have gone through heartbreak or going through some tough time, tragic times, you lost your job or your pet. So sometimes people are not in the best frame of mind, so they need something that they relate to, or they can find like kind of like a, how to say, comfort in. So this is why many people do reviews. I have seen a lot of retired people who are staying at home, very happy people, casually sitting there wearing their hat, nice fan is on, and they're doing reviews and they're buying fragrances and they are doing scent of the day. So these people, to them, this fragrance game is very important. And then some people have depression issues. Like I suffer from depression, so I know it works sometimes. This is the only thing that can make you happy, up, uplift you or make you feel better. And if you take a break from it, it doesn't really help. So kind of like an addiction, but at the same time, it's like kind of like a like the, let's say, the virus, and it's kind of like the cure. So you can see it either way. But if you actually decide to play the game, not to show others, you really genuinely love something. Let's say I'll pick up a fragrance and I'll say genuinely love it, land it alone, not to show others. I just love this fragrance because it has a lot of memories with me, and the fragrance really worked. I have multiple bottles of it. So this fragrance, that cardamom bergamot, really helps me. Like whenever I smell it, I'm like, yeah, that's some good stuff in there. So I believe it does provide support. Like makes you happy. Not just money, not to show off, and not to get attention, but just genuine happiness because you are sharing your thoughts, like how you feel like. Even if you have 150 subscribers, it's 100 people. From those people, they're watching you, they're giving you comments, hey, interesting review, and I really thank you for the story that you shared. I'll keep it in my mind. Perhaps someone wanted to buy the fragrance, and after the review they got inspired and they bought it, and they said, thanks to this reviewer, I bought it and I really love it. It's everything that he described it as. So I think in a certain way, when you are telling stories, it's kind of like artistic, art is an art form. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. But, you know, to be able to tell a story without copying others or uh, like stealing ideas or just reading from Fragrantica, okay? You actually try to tell what you got. Maybe you're getting a whiskey note, perhaps it's actually a leather note. It could happen, different people get different things, someone get whiskey, someone gets like a rum, it is possible. So nobody is wrong. When you get something, test it more and share it. It could be wrong, so what? That's what you got. So that's another nice side of fragrance reviewing and community. The next two things, perhaps they are kind of, you can take it as a negative. Definitely this point of addiction, this I had gone through. Almost reached that point several times. I want to stop doing it because the addiction gets to you really bad. Addiction of reviewing, first thing, addiction of smelling something new, addiction of buying new bottles, latest releases to stay relevant, to show the world that I'm still here, I'm still doing the reviews, compare with other reviewers. Someone is doing one upload, I'm doing like one upload as well every day, one upload. So previously didn't happen. Now it's so competitive. You see it. Actually, people are not making much out of it, but people try to do, like reviewers try to stay relevant. Some reviewers they don't, but some they do. Like you see older reviewers who used to just do once a month or twice a month. They're used to do niche fragrances, but now they are more into designer because they realize designer fragrances are the way to go to get views. If you make content and nobody watches, it really hurts. I'm not gonna say it's pointless because you have done your work. If you're a reviewer, you have done your work, and that's already something meaningful because you have created some content out of love. Okay, maybe 20 people watched it, but those 20 people may have loved it, right? And especially fragrances, they do not have so many reviews. Like let's say there's no review on certain fragrances, but after you do the review, I did review of Amiri, right, by Arabian Oud. Now I see Carlos reviewing it. Makes me feel so happy, like big reviewers look at fragrances, and I do not consider myself to be a big reviewer. I'll never be a big reviewer because I'm not kind of like a reviewer. I did not have any studies or any knowledge or educational background for fragrances, notes, perfume making. I never found my self-esteem to go for making perfumes. I like buy fragrances, use it, enjoy it, and share my story. That's what pretty much I love. So uh, I just love it, like talk about fragrances, and I see that people when they give me like good review, it feels good, even though I'm not a reviewer. So last one is fame. Um, Perhaps you can think of it like when you're doing fragrance reviews or videos, and you see there's a fragrance community all over the world, like different people. There are a lot of groups, different countries. They have like their particular taste. Some countries have like hot weather, some countries have cold weather, so the fragrance culture is different. Okay. um, so those countries, certain countries, they have a lot more rich people than a lot of other countries where it have middle income range people. So designers are more popular there. But people who are, let's say, in that niche category, they have been using fragrance for a long time. You'll see them using something pretty expensive, $400, $500. You'll be like, I'm buying fragrance for $50 and these guys are using $500 fragrances, and you feel like I want to upgrade to that. I'll just tell you one thing. There is no such thing as upgrading. Fragrances are sheer love. Always keep it in mind. You love what you love. You don't have to upgrade to something to impress anybody. That I have this niche house. If you love something, go for it. Make sure the reason is love. I keep saying it, and I believe in it wholeheartedly. If your fragrance is a $20 cologne that makes you happy, you have gone through 6 7 bottles, that is priceless for you. And no matter what people tell you, do not let them make you feel that that fragrance is trash because they believe in it and they did not approve of it. So those things, make sure you always follow. Like let's say you can afford Calvin Klein and you find a lot of good fragrance, and some people say Calvin Klein is trash, they're generic. If you love something, you love it. It doesn't matter what people say. So I never really judge a fragrance based on the money or price tag. I think of fragrance has to smell good. Longevity can differ, on different skin, different weather, but fragrance, if it doesn't smell good, it doesn't matter if it's a $200 or $5 cologne, it's still trash in my world. So I do my research, buy my fragrances that I really feel that it's going to be good. It's going to be my type of fragrance, the ones I really like to wear. So I always go for those fragrances. I do not buy fragrances I'm not going to like. Or if I sample them and I found them to be extremely stinky, or I really have to wait 100 years to be able to understand it, usually I do not buy those full bottles. Okay, so I kind of play it safe, and you'll see me mostly covering a lot of designer fragrances. If you search by fragrance and my name, if it pops up, you'll see a lot of other fragrance from that house, let's say mainstream house, because I knew, if you want to get views, if you want to make contents, and mostly people out there, 85% people out there, they are looking into this designer, which is right between the budget cheapies, body sprays, and niche fragrances, right in this slot within $100 budget. This is where the more popular fragrances are, and I'd like to review them. I like to buy a lot of them, because you can buy multiple bottles of, let's say, for $500 you can buy a fragrance, or for $500 you can buy 10 fragrances. So you can get to experience a lot more. You get a lot more juice. Yeah, sometimes quality, quantity, different issue, but when you're actually starting a game, do not fall for the hype that you need to get one niche perfume per year. Go out there, start with your basics, go one by one, step by step. If you try to jump to the moon, you'll never reach there. So learn, like when you're in school, learn to buy fragrances that actually suits your budget, and then slowly, let's say from a body spray you upgrade to EDT, okay, and then from EDT you slowly go for a little bit more mainstream designers, affordable ones, and then you slowly start, seeing, like, that's the whole process of loving and learning. If a fragrance lover is kind of like a, how to say, prejudiced on certain house, and they hate and they look down upon others, it's not really the fragrance game goal. So those pretty much are the things. Thanks for listening for a long time. I believe fragrance game is always nice. It's a place you should come for relaxation, not to get added stress, which is happening a lot, and then do not get into negativity, which also is the case. Sometimes people just attack you for no good reason, even if you're the nicest person. If you have the nicest, most charming personality like Steven or Max 40, people still attack them. Other reviewers attack them. But like, honestly speaking, we are just human. Nobody's perfect. Sometimes I make mistakes. That's part of life. But at least when you make a mistake and you realize, oh, that was just actually a waste of time, it was immature, so I should move on and focus on my work more. So you learn these things, in your life. So thanks for watching, and I'll be doing fragrance reviews hopefully tomorrow again. And I'm signing out from this time around. Good night from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Bye bye.